mobility, reinforce the protection of migrants and asylum seekers, prevent human trafficking, return and reintegration, and to recognise that migration is a shared responsibility, country of origin, country of transit, country of destination. And with the South-South Triangle Cooperation, it has us partnered with several African nations. In 2020, across Africa, there were prison release programs. There was 19,000 prisoners released from South African prisons. There were over 41,000 from Ethiopia, 7,000 from Kenya and Cameroon, nearly 8,000 Nigeria, 7,813 Morocco, 5,654 Algeria, Mozambique just over 5,000, Zimbabwe and Egypt just over 4,000. In 2021, we started to see an increase from some of these very countries. So we had Georgia, 2,911, Somalia, 1,632, Zimbabwe, 5,483, Algeria, 1,870, Nigeria, 1,244. Now, Jacob Zuma was arrested after his presidency and locked up for arms deals and corruption. These charges were dating back to the 90s. He was charged with them. He joined a left-wing political party. He rose up, became president, had the charges dropped, and then reinstated after his presidency, and he is to stand trial in 2025. In 2023, our very own Taoiseach, Minister for Foreign Affairs and Minister for Defence, Micheál Martin, met with the next president, President Ramaphosa. That same year in August, Ramaphosa announces his early release programme, and to release more than 24,000 prisoners said to be non-violent to ease overcrowding. And in April 2024, the papers read, "The release of prisoners to release Zuma unleashes crime wave." In August 23, he released over 16,000 prisoners in a special release remissions programme under the guise of reducing overcrowding, and was a political favour to release Zuma. The list of criminals were robbery 396, kidnapping 17, rape and sex offences 3, 402 for assault and GBH, theft 3,883, immigration offences 3,574, housebreaking 2,632, homicide 278, arson 20, domestic violence 3, and 15 guilty of corruption along with Zuma, and 1,700 from DC Congo. So let's look at some of the prisons. Pollsmoor Prison in the Western Cape has been identified as one of the most overcrowded and dangerous, with the numbers gangs, the 26s, 27s and 28s holding power. In Nigeria, Geometric Prison, the Matru Yobe State, is extremely dangerous because of religious extremists and terrorists linked to Boko Haram and Islamic extremists known to murder children and women and sometimes eat the dead, and had links to Al-Qaeda. Gitamara Prison in Rwanda is one of the deadliest in the world, Z News India reports. The prisoners spend most of their time standing up due to overcrowding, and inmates frequently partake in deadly fights, with some inmates eating the dead to stay alive. It's no wonder they didn't want to take England's Rwanda deal. The occupancy breakdown by nationality coming into Ireland week ending the 7th of the 7th, 2024, Department of Justice. Nigeria, 6,278. Georgia, 3,449. Algeria, 3,018. Somalia, 2,461. Zimbabwe, 2,285. Afghanistan, 1,839. South Africa, 1,338. Pakistan, 1,336. Bangladesh, 1,142. Jordan, 889. Botswana, 769. DR Congo 528, Ukraine 501, Egypt 446, Albania 457, Morocco 369, Ghana 205, Sudan 199, Iraq 198, Bolivia 151, Ethiopia 123. So the majority of them are African nations, some Asian and some European. And in the UN PDF on prisoners' rights, it talks about how being persecuted after release, and it talks about early release programs as well. But you know, if they're claiming persecution, it gets them here on international protection. So, how many of those prisoners made it here from last year to the canals in Dublin this summer? How many of them were already here from before in centres and communities around Ireland are now reoffending and being reshuffled to other communities? So, if you have a country that's up high on the level of danger, and you want to make it safer, but your prisons are overcrowded, you can't lock them up, you actually need to release them, what do you do? How